So I'm down here in Kentucky at the Kentucky Tactical Officers Association conference, and having a great week. I figured I got some time in my hotel room. I just figured I'd do a lessons learned, lessons ignored episode. And the story I'm going to relay is one that I would relay to a lot of officers during defensive tactics training or newer officers, just to take send the point home about normalcy bias and how you have to fight complacency and not ignore warning signs. And in this instance, what happened was I'm working second shift, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. roughly. Myself and another officer get dispatched to Bed Bath and Beyond, of all places, for a man with an open container of alcohol. It's not normal. I've never had that before then, and had that since that incident. But because it's alcohol related, it's in the evening, high likelihood of someone fighting back, alcohol related instances in a store like that, they send backup. So me and another officer respond. The other officer responding is my supervisor, sergeant, and I get there first. I get out of the car and I go ahead and go into the store. I want to get some more information before making contact. And because we're not pressed at this time, there's nothing rushing us over there. So I go in, I talk to a worker and the manager. They point him out. They tell, yeah, we want him gone. He's out of here. We can't have somebody walking around with no container. They gave some other indication that, hey, there's some slurred speech. He may be intoxicated. These other things. We're like, okay, good to go. It's your store. You can kick him out. So I start to make my approach. As I'm making my approach, my backup arrives. He's in the parking lot. He gets out of his car. He's walking in. He's not in a rush either. He knows what's going on. And I walk up. I identify, or I see the suspect, and my backup's walking through the store at this point. He's not far away. And I call out. I go, hey, excuse me, sir. I need to talk to you. And he ignores me or doesn't hear me, one or the other. I'm not quite sure at that moment. So I get a little closer and I call out again. Excuse me, sir. You reach out and give him a little tap. And there's just like this slight little look. He's ignoring me. And I notice he's got earbuds in. And so another little tap. At this point, my backup is there. He's staying back. He's keeping his mouth shut. Let me do contact. And because this is a very soft interaction, we're trying to de-escalate the situation. And I can already tell, this is a warning sign. This is what I would tell newer officers. This is a warning sign. Him not acknowledging us is odd, right? I'm already thinking this isn't good. So I end up reaching up and I take my finger and I just pop one of the earbuds out and it falls and he turns around and he's a bit angry. Now I kind of expected that response, but I needed to get a response from him. I wasn't just gonna grab him and yank him around. That to me didn't make sense. But he turns around and he's pissed off. So I say, hey, look, this is what's going on. I see that cup you have. It's like a reusable cup that people have with a lid and a reusable straw. And it's clear and it's obvious there's beer in there. I mean, it's like anybody's ever seen a beer that has been poured. No, it's like it's a Pilsner and it's got a big head on it. And he's drinking it through a straw. And this guy's in his late 20s. And he's taller than me, thin, athletic build kind of. And he spins around and he's angry. And I say, hey, look, this is what's going on. You can't have that in there. They want you to leave. And you're going to get a citation for the open container. This just isn't acceptable. You're not going to get a warning for this. But it's just a citation. Not going to jail or anything. He refuses to identify himself. Doesn't want to leave. I was like, look, if you don't leave, you're going to get arrested for trespassing. Nope, doesn't care. Won't identify himself. So we go through this for a couple of minutes. I look over at my backup. We have this little signal to know when things aren't going well and we're going to arrest the person. I give that little signal. I let him kind of get mentally prepared and readjust, and I give the guy one more opportunity. Not going. So we go hands on, and the fight is on. As soon as we touch him and we're like, hey, you're under arrest, we're trying to put the cuffs on, the beer goes flying because he's pulling, and it hits the ground. We go to gain control. We go to the ground with him in the beer. It's on linoleum, and the fight is on. He is doing everything he can to pull himself away. And I think I can base off of this giant, 5 by 5 by 5 bin full of pillows. Well, it's too light. So it's getting just pushed all around. And the whole time he is yelling the R word, that he's being sexually assaulted in this store. He's yelling R word, R word. And I got to say that because YouTube's going to kink the video if I don't. Anyways, he's yelling this, and luckily we had another officer who just happened to be off duty a few aisles over doing some shopping. She comes running over to assist us, but still we fought for quite a while. And I'll tell a follow-up story to this on how everything kind of went. But he ends up getting arrested. None of us get hurt. He doesn't get hurt, and he goes off to jail, and that's it. But the point is, you can't get complacent, and too often, this is the lesson ignored. The lesson learned is don't be complacent. Expect violent things to happen in the most non-violent circumstances sometimes. You just have to be prepared for it. You can't always going in thinking with blinders on, oh, not going to happen to me, that normalcy bias. We can't have that. But that's what happens too often. A lot of officers are seriously injured or killed or just embarrassed a lot of times because they refuse to wait for backup, because they don't park their cars right, because they don't grab the proper equipment. Some of that stuff is just going to happen because of the circumstances. There's some of the stuff you just can't stop from happening. But there are, when you know that there are warning signs and they're put out in front of you. And you have to notice that when someone is getting agitated, you don't push it until your backup shows up. You learn to BS people and stall. Tactical stalling is what needs to happen a lot of times before you decide to go and put hands on. So lessons learned, lessons ignored.